Let me get this straight. It's September 2025 and we have an asbestos controversy in New Zealand? Aye! Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode number 35 of the HazMat podcast. Now, you can't have a podcast about asbestos without covering a controversy that has developed here in New Zealand in the last few weeks. What we're going to talk about is the discovery or accidental discovery of asbestos-containing material in some fireproof doors that have been installed into some new buildings. So number one, there's a company called Pacific Door Systems. They are a subsidiary of Assa Abloy, so quite a big company in their own right. And they're also said to be the largest supplier of fireproof doors in New Zealand. What's happened is some of the imported fire retardant materials that they put into their doors, obviously to stop or slow the spread of fire if that broke out, has been sampled and found to contain asbestos material. Now, this affects quite a number of either newly constructed or recently renovated doors that have been installed courtesy of Pacific Door Systems. And it's created a bit of panic, some of it well deserved by tradies that have actually worked on these doors, getting them in to the buildings or modifying them as required. This first came up at the end of June, and there was a report of material potentially containing asbestos used in the production of the fire doors. The material itself has been sourced from a third-party supplier, and they were outside of New Zealand. So imported, I believe, from China via Australia. I can be corrected on that, but that seems to be what the information is telling us. After the whistle was blown, essentially an investigation had begun, and Pacific Door Systems, I believe, are working with WorkSafe to track down and check on all of the doors that have been installed that may contain that particular board. As we've mentioned in a previous episode, asbestos is still being manufactured and consumed in large quantities by China, and therefore we all run the risk of importing products that can have it in it. Even now in 2025. What the investigation has found is a number of the doors have confirmed to be asbestos containing, and as such they've had to be labelled and managed. That is what we do when we discover asbestos products in a workplace. We need to label them so people know what they're dealing with, should they have to, or to take the appropriate precautions when handling. Now, of course, it seems a bit counterintuitive to have a brand new shiny building with some brand new shiny doors and then have to label them as asbestos material. So I guess the decision is yet to be made on what will happen. Will they be replaced? Will they be just left alone? Or what's going on there? I understand PDS has issued a voluntary recall of the product, which means you can send them back, potentially get a replacement. A couple of the buildings involved, the high-profile ones at least, the $275 million Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, or MFAT, in Wellington. Those doors were actually removed. The $326 million Government Communication Security Bureau, God, that's a mouthful, GCSB, data centre in Whenuapai, Auckland's International Convention Centre, where it's currently undergoing testing there at the moment, Christchurch's Te Kaha Stadium, where work on 104 fire doors has been halted and testing is being undergone there. Of course, you've got other things like apartment blocks, hotels, industrial facilities, obviously anywhere that you could need a fire door installed. Of course, in terms of safety, we've mentioned before, number one, asbestos is more or less inert if it is undisturbed, and that means exactly that. If it's inside of a door, you're not likely to inhale asbestos fibres. The people, as we mentioned earlier, that have worked on these, fitting them and maybe installing the hardware, the hinges and the handles and what have you, potentially they may have been exposed to asbestos if they've had to drill or cut into the doors and create some respirable fibres. But whether that has happened or not, or if they've gone anywhere near the panel, I don't actually know. To ensure that nobody panics, as we've also mentioned on another episode of our podcast, breathing in asbestos fibre is something that we all do from time to time. It really is unavoidable, but the key is to minimise the amount of exposure as much as possible. I had an interview with the Herald, a New Zealand publication, the other day, just asking my opinion on what the safe level of exposure really is, and I said there is no known safe level of exposure. So there is a latency period in asbestos lung disease. You're not going to know straight away, unfortunately. And yeah, the main thing is not to panic. If you do experience some kind of respiratory ailment, you should probably go and get that checked at the doctor to keep an eye on things. But yeah, we don't know really how much you can have of asbestos from person to person without contracting a disease. And I believe some people have probably been around it all their life with no ill effect. And by the same token, some people have been subjected to small amounts over time and they've succumbed to an asbestos-related cancer. So that's really that. What will happen from here, I don't know. As I say, with the doors and with the company, of course, I don't believe any company's going to import asbestos on purpose and bring that in. So that would probably all be looked at going forward. What's been done is done. If the doors are left as they are, they should not be hazardous to anybody. And look, I would not go out of my way to avoid any of these buildings. They are being investigated. They are being managed now under the umbrella of WorkSafe and the Ministry of Business and Innovation. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll post an update later. But yeah, that's what has cropped up in the news lately, and I thought we'd better cover that. So thank you for joining us on this episode. We will see you shortly with another episode of the HazMat podcast. Thank you very much.